Eagles fan Tuesday in Philadelphia dawned with that bitter taste of a hangover that unfortunately is becoming routine in recent weeks. After an exhausting and traumatic battle at SoFi Stadium where we saw our team fight until overtime, only to hand the game away with a turnover. At the end, the front office had no time for lamentation. While the fans were still trying to process the third straight loss, Howie Roseman and the coaching staff were already working behind the scenes, and the first drastic post-loss measure was taken. The team officially announced the release of a player who was on the field Monday night. It might seem like a minor move to those looking from the outside, but for those who understand the mechanics of a championship team, this signals a desperate attempt to bring stability back to a unit that has been failing special teams. The official information confirms that the Philadelphia Eagles waived a player this Tuesday who had been an absolute starter for a specific unit. We are talking about a 27-year-old athlete who wore jersey number 48 and was responsible for starting every kicking play in the last 9 games. He arrived as an emergency solution, fulfilled his role with dignity, but now his stint in Philadelphia comes to an abrupt end less than 24 hours after the loss to the Chargers. He played 81 snaps with the special teams, but the NFL business is brutal. When your original function is no longer needed, the exit door is the only option. The name cut from the roster today is our interim long snapper, Cal Adamitis. But why make this change now in the middle of a losing streak? The answer has a first and last name, Charlie Hewlett. Adamitis' release was not due to bad performance, but because our Iron Man, the starting and veteran long snapper, finally ready to return. Hewlett was placed on injured reserve before Week 5 with a core issue, and now he is eligible and apparently healthy to reclaim his post this coming Sunday against the Raiders. Hewlett's return pushed Adamitis off the roster, since no NFL team carries 2 long snappers on the 53-man roster. Here comes the deep analysis you only see on this channel. Why is Charlie Hewlett's return so vital right now? Remember the last few games. Remember the missed field goal by Jake Elliott against the Chargers before halftime. Remember the errors in previous weeks. The kicker position is 90% mental and 10% technical, but that technique depends on a trinity: the snapper, the holder, and the kicker. Cal Adamitis did an honest job, but he doesn't have the years of chemistry that Hewlett has with Jake Elliott. The ball arrives with a different rotation at a different speed. For a kicker who is in a confidence crisis, getting his safety blanket snapper back is huge. The front office hopes bringing Hewlett back helps fix Jake Elliott automatically. It is a bet on familiarity to stop the bleeding. The news text reminds us of something that in the middle of the chaos, we sometimes forget we are the reigning champions defending the title. But this title defense is hanging by a thread. With the loss to the Chargers, we fell to an 8-5 record. We are still atop the division ahead of the Cowboys, but the lead has melted. We are looking in the rear-view mirror and seeing rivals growing. Even more worrying is the general conference standing. We fell behind in the fight for the number 2 seed. The Green Bay Packers, with 9 wins and riding a 4-game winning streak, have passed us. The Los Angeles Rams lead the conference with 10 wins. The margin for error is gone. If we want to play playoffs at home, we need to stop losing now. We cannot talk about roster moves without mentioning the main reason we are making these changes: Monday's defeat. The article highlights that Jalen Hurts, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, had a night to forget. He completed 21 of 40 passes for 240 yards, 0 touchdowns, and the most painful number, 4 interceptions. The last interception came on the final play of overtime, sealing the loss. When your leader, your MVP, plays like this, it reverberates throughout the entire roster. Hewlett's return on special teams is an attempt to control what can be controlled, since the offense is in a spiral of uncertainty that not even Nick Sirianni seems able to solve at the moment. Howie Roseman proved once again that there are no days off after a loss. The agility in making the transition from Adamitis to Hewlett shows that the team was counting the days for this return. The long snapper is a thankless position. No one knows his name until he botches a snap. The fact that Adamitis went 9 games without us talking much about him is a sign that he was competent. He accomplished the mission. But the team's loyalty is to elite performance, and Hewlett is considered one of the best in the league at the job. In moments of crisis, you go back to your veterans. you go back to locker room leaders. Hewlett is one of those guys. Now we look forward. The text says the Eagles have the perfect opportunity to get back on track, and they really do. The next opponent is the Las Vegas Raiders, who have a terrible record of 2 wins and 11 losses. The game is at Lincoln Financial Field Sunday at 1 p.m. If there is a get-right game in the NFL, this is it. But be careful, wounded and desperate teams like the Eagles sometimes enter too pressured against weak teams and commit mental errors. Hewlett's return helps guarantee that if the game is decided by a field goal in the last second, we will have the best possible operation on the field. We are entering Week 15. There are few games left until the playoff. The standings show we can no longer stumble. If we lose to a 2-11 team at home, then we can hit the nuclear panic button. This roster move on Tuesday is the first step of preparation. It is cleaning the house, taking out the interim, putting in the starter, and telling the team playtime is over. We are in war mode. Before wrapping up, it is worth leaving a thank you to Cal Adamitis. He stepped into a fire, replacing a team legend in the middle of the season, and did not compromise. He played 81 special team snaps and kept the operation running. He leaves now, but leaves with a strengthened resume to try for a spot on another team next season, or who knows, even this year. It is the human part of the business we often ignore. One day you are playing on Monday Night Football, the next day you are unemployed. In summary, Cal Adamitis is out. Charlie Hewlett, our starting long snapper, should return against the Raiders. The team is 8-5, pressured by 3 straight losses, and desperately needs to beat Las Vegas to not lose the division, lead to the Cowboys and playoff positioning to the Packers and Rams. The front office moved the only piece they could move immediately. Now it remains to be seen if Jalen Hurts and the offense can do their part, so we don't have to depend so much on Jake Elliott's kicks. Does Charlie Hewlett's return make you calmer regarding field goal? Do you think Jake Elliott's slump had to do with the snapper change, or is the problem in the kicker's head? And about the game against the Raiders, is it a guaranteed win, or are you afraid of another embarrassment at home? Leave your opinion in the comments. It is time for unity and accountability. The season is on the line. If you liked this quick and direct roster update, leave a like and subscribe. We will cover every step of this final stretch. Fly, Eagles, fly.